Hello everyone, my name is Nuvola and welcome to another video. This week's video is the Bedrock moss farm. Last week we built the Java moss farm and I will leave a link to that in the top right corner. This week is the Bedrock part. You can find the material list in the description below. So without further ado, let's go! Here you can see the layout of the build. As you can see, the farm fits exactly inside of the build, including an item elevator and an automatic sorting system. The farm itself is based off a Just Craft video that I will link to in the description. Start off by placing 7 blocks in a line right here, and then place 7 pistons in front of these blocks. Place a row of blocks on top, and place another row of temporary blocks in front. You should then be able to place dispensers like this, and you can then delete the temporary blocks. Now for this tutorial I'm using a lot of smooth stone blocks, but if I were you I would use brick blocks or granite blocks. Build a wall around the farm of 2 blocks high. Once you've done so, you can waterlog the pistons by placing a bucket of water and right-click on the piston. After that, place a bucket of lava in the middle above the pistons. This should turn the water into stone. This is a stone generator, which is going to create natural stone, which is pushed outwards and convert it into moss. To make sure that the stone doesn't leave the area we want it to, we're going to place a line of obsidian here. You can then move towards the back and place a line of redstone dust on these blocks. These are the blocks behind the pistons and will trigger the pistons to push the stone outward. Then place a block in the middle and face a hopper into it. Delete that block and place a hopper facing into the other hopper. We're going to use this for a redstone clock. Place comparators behind these hoppers with the 2 sticks facing towards the hopper, and then place a block behind the comparator with a redstone dust on top. Place pistons next to this redstone dust facing towards the hoppers, like this. And then place a redstone block in front of this piston. Place a lever on top of the other piston. And flip it. Now you're going to add 6 blocks, doesn't matter which one, into the hopper on the left side. Now when you flip the lever, the items will travel from one hopper into the other one, and each time that happens and the stack of 6 blocks is in the other hopper, the redstone block will flip. This is going to trigger different parts of the farm. In order to activate the pistons, we're going to place an observer right here with a block behind it, like this, with a redstone dust on top. This redstone dust should connect to the line below, and now when you flip the lever, the stone should be pushed outwards. Because there are 6 items in the hoppers, there is just about enough time for the lava to turn into stone again and then get pushed out. If there are less items in the hopper, there won't be any stone generated and the timing is off. So it's important that you use 6 items. This is your stone generator. Now let's connect the dispensers to the stone generator to create a flushing system. Place redstone dust on top of the dispensers. Then place a block right here next to the hopper with a redstone repeater on top. Set this redstone repeater to 2 ticks. This is important. Place an observer facing into the repeater and place a block next to the redstone dust right here. You can place a redstone dust on top and it should connect to the line of dispensers. Flip the lever again And now each time when the redstone block shifts position, it should trigger the dispensers as well, flushing the system. We're now going to make sure that everything that gets flushed, which is currently nothing, ends up in a chest by placing a double chest right here and then face hoppers into this chest all along the obsidian. You can then build the outer wall around this part of the system. We're now starting on the most important part of the farm, which is the moss converter. Start by pillaring up 4 blocks in the middle of the farm, and you should be 1 block off from the flushing system. Place a moss block on the 5th level with some blocks behind it. Delete the block behind the moss block and place a dispenser here facing into the moss block. Then place a hopper facing into this dispenser with a double chest on top of it. In this chest we will add bone meal, which is going to be fed into the dispenser, triggering the creation of moss. On the other side of the dispenser, place a solid block with a redstone dust on top, and you can place a piston right here. This piston is going to break all of the blocks that generate on top of this moss block. You can delete the blocks behind the dispenser and place 2 temporary blocks on top of the redstone dust right here. Place an observer facing upwards right here, and then remove the block on top to place a redstone lamp. Finish it off by placing 2 blocks right here. It's now time to connect this system to the farm. Start by placing 2 blocks right here. And then continue this zigzag pattern up using glass blocks. Connect this glass tower to the redstone lamp on top and the dispenser right here. You can then place redstone dust on top of all of these blocks to connect the dispenser and the redstone lamp to the redstone clock at the back. Now, when the redstone block shifts position, it will first trigger the moss converter, creating moss on the stone below, and then flush the system by triggering the dispensers. The stone generator will push stone outward again, breaking the moss, which can then be flushed down into the hoppers at the back, and everything will be collected in the double chest at the end of the hopper line. And as you can see here, this works splendidly. It creates a lot of moss in very little time, and it should create even more items which you can convert into bone meal to feed the system with in order to keep it running and create more bone meal than you use to run the farm. Now let's start on the collection system and create some space to create an item elevator. You want to place an observer facing upwards into the chest right here, with a solid block below. Place a redstone dust next to this solid block and place an observer facing into that redstone dust. Place a redstone torch to the back of this observer and then place 5 droppers on top of this observer facing upwards. Place a solid block behind the lowest dropper with a redstone torch attached to it at the back. Place a solid block on top of this redstone torch with a redstone torch attached to it facing towards the dropper. Continue your way all the way up. In the end, it should look like this. You can then fill in the hole using some dirt. And you can finish it off by placing a hopper facing into the lowest dropper right here. This should start triggering the dropper tower. Items should be spit out at the top like this. As you can see, this works quite fast and it does make a bit of noise. So if you want to stop this, you can place a lever on the lowest block right here. And this should stop the noise and the dropper tower. Now let's work on the automatic sorting system. Start by placing double chests on these locations and make these 2 blocks high. Place an extra double chest right here and then face hoppers into the back of these chests. And place 1 hopper on top of this last double chest. On these 2 lines, place solid blocks and then place redstone torches attached to the front row of blocks. They should be next to the hoppers and attached to the solid blocks. Place solid blocks right here. And then place repeaters right here. Cover those repeaters up with a row of blocks. And then place 3 lines of redstone dust right here. On this final block you want to place comparators with the 2 sticks facing towards the hoppers. And then place hoppers facing into these comparators like so. Place an extra hopper on top of the one above the final chests. This is your overflow chest. We're now going to create a line of hoppers from the overflow chest all the way towards the dropper tower. Make sure that all of these hoppers face into one another in order for the items to travel through. Using some brick blocks or granite blocks, create a channel over these hoppers. Place a bucket of water on top of the dropper and cover that up using a solid block to make sure that the items don't flow out of this water flow. In order for this to automatically sort, we're going to place 4 dirt blocks, 1 in each of these slots in the top hoppers next to the comparators. And then place a full stack of the item that you want to sort out here in the first slot. So I'm placing moss blocks. It should stop at 41. Do this for the other chests as well, using moss carpets, azalea saplings and flowering azalea saplings. This ensures that all of the drops from your farm end up in the respective chests, and there will only be overflow items like seeds and the occasional block in the overflow chest. Now you can also use this farm as a bonemeal farm. To create bonemeal, we're going to add 2 double chests right here with composters at the back of it, with hoppers facing into these composters below the hopper line, and hoppers below the composters feeding into the double chests. Now when items travel along this line, they get picked up by the hoppers feeding into the composters, creating bone meal, which will be automatically stored in the double chests below. If you place dirt blocks in the last 4 positions of the hoppers feeding into the composters, not all of the items traveling along the hopper will get picked up and you will get some moss and some bone meal. However, in this way you will not generate enough bone meal for the farm to keep running indefinitely. Time to test out the system by flipping the lever of the dropper tower and flipping the lever of the farm. You can also choose to turn off the bonemeal creation by placing 2 blocks next to the hoppers feeding into the composters with levers on it, and when you flip the levers, this will lock the hopper behind it, disabling the creation of bonemeal. All of your items should then travel to the automatic sorting system. Time to start on the decoration. We're going to start off with a wall of 4 brick blocks all around the build. And on top of the entrance, place an upside down stair with a block on top. On the 5th level, create a line of green terracotta. It should end up like this, and you can then create pillars on the outside. For this, place 3 block high pillars of brick blocks with green terracotta on the 4th level, another layer of brick blocks with dark oak stairs on top. You want to do this on all designated places around the build. Time to work on the side of the building. We're gonna start off by pillaring up 11 blocks from this location. Make this pillar 2 blocks wide. Do the same behind this dark oak pillar as well. We're now going to create the windows. We will need to make some minor adjustments using the brick blocks to create the top half of the window, which in the end should look like this. Down below you can place brick stairs each other block, with full blocks in between and on top, and upside down stairs in between those. This creates a little bit of depth. Now grab some brick walls and place these on the sides of the window and down the middle of the window. And on the 3rd level, connect these using brick walls as well. Now grab some grey stained glass panes and fill in the holes in the window. And that's your basic window. Now you want to repeat that on the right side as well, ending up with something like this. And you want to do that on the other side of the build as well. In the end, it should look like this. You can then fill in the back wall using brick blocks. Move back towards the front and place down 2 levels of brick blocks on top of the green terracotta. We're then going to work on the entrance by placing 3 brick blocks with a line of green terracotta on top. Place upside down brick stairs right here, and another line of brick blocks on top of the green terracotta with some brick stairs on top to finish it off. On top of the entrance, you want to skip 3 blocks and place blocks next to that like this. I'm going to create a circular window here. In the end, it should look like this. Next to that, create a pillar of brick blocks all the way to the top, on both sides, and fill in the rest of the wall. Inside of the side windows, place brick walls on the bottom and the top, and fill in the rest using the grey glass panes for both sides. And then using brick walls, go down the center of the circular window in the middle, create a cross shape and fill in the sides, top and bottom like this. You should have 4 spots per hole in the window for glass panes like this. To create some extra detail, you can replace some of the brick blocks with stairs and upside down stairs to create some more depth into the front of the build as well. And that's the front side of your moss factory. Time to work on the roof. It's a very easy roof in which we're going up 1 slab at a time, and the side of the roof is made using dark oak slabs. Make your way to the other side and make your way down here, slab by slab as well. On the front side, each other slab, you can place one to give a little bit more detail to the roof. Now, of course, don't forget the second building as well. Now, of course, don't forget the second compartment as well. Fill in the roof using stone brick slabs and some mossy cobblestone slabs as well. Mix these up pretty much randomly for it to give a nice detailed look. Fill in the wall separating the compartments of the build, and then fill in the second roof as well. It's now time to work on these huge chimneys at the back. Start by placing a brick slab in the middle in order for no mobs to spawn inside of this hole, and then pillar up 16 blocks, which should correspond to the top of the roof. On top of these pillars, place green terracotta in these locations and use brick walls in the corners. After you've done so, place 2 more layers of brick walls. On top of this, place a brick block in each corner and connect them up using upside down stairs. Place 1 more brick layer on top and surround those with upside down dark oak stairs in the corners, connected with dark oak slabs in between those dark oak stairs. Finally, place a layer of brick slabs on top, and within the chimney place down a hay bale with a campfire on top. And that's it. Those are the huge chimneys. Now for the interior, I will leave it up to you, but don't forget to light it up and use some brick and granite blocks to give it a little bit more detail. On top, you will need to be able to add bone meal to the chest and of course pull the lever of the farm. So I suggest that you keep it simple and just use some bottom half slabs in order for you to walk around here. All that's left are some aesthetic details, such as green frog lights with oak trapdoors in front of them all around the build. use some azalea leaves and flowering azalea leaves to cover the build and give it a more overgrown look, and replace a bunch of the brick blocks by granite and polished granite in order for it to have a lot more detail. And that's it, you're done. Now if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you have any suggestions for future videos, leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. Enjoy your new farm and have a great day. Cheers!